Welcome everyone to Discover This. Today we got another in our series of outlaw biker videos, and today we're going to talk about a group called the Peckerwoods Motorcycle Club. And you may have seen them around, especially if you're in the southwestern region of the United States. But we're going to talk about their beginning and how law enforcement looks like they targeted them from the get-go. So we're going to talk about the Peckerwoods today. So let's check it out. Now, the first time a member of the Peckerwoods MC was seen and documented by law enforcement was around early 2005. They may have been together for some time before that, but then that's when law enforcement certainly took notice. The Peckerwoods got their start out here in Santee, California, in the eastern part of San Diego County, and they've since spread around. But this is where they took root, basically. In mid-2005, a member of the Peckerwoods MC got a permit from the city of Santee to open a flooring business at 9317 Shadow Hill Road. He was granted the permit. The business was called Got Wood. Now, maybe about a third of this building was used for the flooring business, and the rest of the building was the Peckerwoods MC Clubhouse. In 2006, the San Diego County Sheriff's Department and ATF started an investigation on the Peckerwoods MC, and they called it Operation Blue and White. For the next 11 months, undercover officers and agents bought drugs and weapons from the Peckerwoods members and documented various assaults and acts of violence by Peckerwoods members. One Peckerwoods member even sold an undercover agent a grenade. Probably never a good thing. Operation Blue and White was taken down in May of 2007 with some search warrants and a number of arrests. In the end, 14 people were arrested, 9 of them Peckerwoods members. The others were associates and friends. Agents seized 24 firearms, 1.5 pounds of marijuana, 24 marijuana plants from a member's indoor grow at his house, 1.5 ounces of meth, and over 700 prescription pills, things like Oxy, Vicodin, Percocet. Some members were charged with assault, some with sales of narcotics, some with receiving stolen property, and various other charges. Also, law enforcement seized their clubhouse under a nuisance ordinance. Later in 2007, not to be outdone, the DEA, along with the Narcotics Task Force, arrested 2 members of the Peckerwoods, ones that had been arrested during Operation Blue and White, for narcotics trafficking in something the DEA called Operation Deadwood. All the while, with these law enforcement episodes, the Peckerwoods continued to recruit and host events, and also participate in other clubs' events. Now, one of the things the Peckerwoods MC got involved with was some fundraising for a missing girl. Pretty famous case, at least in San Diego County, if not a wider region, but the girl's name was Dubois. And the Peckerwoods did at least a couple different fundraisers for the family and to help pay for some search crews to come in and different things over the course of time. She was missing for a while. So that's one of the things the Peckerwoods did for the community. Now, in 2011, a Peckerwoods member was busted for operating a chop shop out of his house. Law enforcement got there because of an active LoJack system on a stolen car that was at the residence. In May of 2011, the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force in San Diego did some search warrants and arrests as part of what they called Operation Broken Wing. This was an investigation targeting narcotics trafficking and sales that focused on some 6 members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club locally in San Diego, some of their associates, and it also included the president of the Coffin Chasers Motorcycle Club, and also a member of the Peckerwoods Motorcycle Club, one that had also been caught up in Operation Blue and White and Operation Deadwood. Now, the Peckerwoods ended up expanding, and they opened a chapter in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and opened a clubhouse there, and have hosted a number of events over the years in Phoenix. They also eventually opened a chapter in the Yuma, Arizona area. They also had a member living in the Las Vegas, Nevada area, trying to get a chapter going there. And they eventually opened a chapter in northern San Diego County. Eventually that particular chapter ended up moving to the Temecula area in Riverside County, and they called that chapter Woodside. Now, in November of 2012, There was a Peckerwoods member living in Las Vegas, and he ended up getting into an argument with another guy and was shot to death. So they ended up having a memorial for that member whose moniker was Thug. Now, some of you may remember a group called the Laughing Devils MC. They were a local San Diego club, been around for a little while, and then kind of expanded up into the Temecula area. Well, they got involved with a reality show called The Devil's Ride, if you remember that. And once they signed on with that show, they lost whatever respect they had with other clubs around, you know, that they would associate with at different events and things like that. The Peckerwoods MC were one club who took exception to the Laughing Devils being part of that show. And one day in May of 2012, a Peckerwoods member found 2 Laughing Devils members and an associate at a place called Ye Village Inn, a bar in Santee, California. And that Peckerwoods member proceeded to assault all 3, and he took the cuts and colors off the 2 Laughing Devils members and fled the scene. That Peckerwoods member was later arrested for the assault, and they did a fundraiser for him to help pay for some legal expenses that occur when that kind of thing happens. Now, the Peckerwoods eventually opened up a new clubhouse, this time in Lakeside, California. They called it the Woodshed, and after building it out to their liking, they would eventually host some events there for the public to come check it out. This would be at 8807 Winter Gardens Boulevard. So that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this story about the Peckerwoods Motorcycle Club and their start in the eastern portion of San Diego County. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you taking the time. We'll have a few more stories about the Peckerwoods coming up at a later date. But until then, keep watching. Keep checking out our older videos. We got some playlists of different things going on. So check them all out, and we will see you next time.